Hi, Chris.
Tiffany, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm happy to see you here in the Nicholson home, Indiana Humanities worldwide headquarters, and happy to share some time with you.
I am as well. So we are here as we are transitioning the leadership of the board. You are outgoing, I am incoming. And so let's just take some time to reflect. So I want to ask you, what inspired you to serve on the board of Indiana Humanities?
Wow. You know, I've always admired the humanities and what Indiana Humanities does for the state, all 92 counties. I first kind of got to fall in love with humanities through programming, and so through this experience as board chair, I've really grown to appreciate the grant-making part of what this team does to make meaningful grants statewide, and have really grown to value that piece of what Indiana Humanities does. What
are you most proud of during your time?
You know, Indiana Humanities, one of the oldest councils in the nation, is turning 50. We're 50 years old. This mission is 50 years old, and I'm proud to have been part of that as board chair. I'm also proud in anticipation of the National Humanities meeting coming to Indianapolis. This was one that was supposed to be held in 2020, and the team did a great job to invite them back this year. And so all of the leading humanists from across the country will gather in Indianapolis. And so with my Visit Indy hat on, it's very proud moment.
Great. We're all looking forward to the conference.
Good. You'll be there.
I will.
Now you're stepping in as chair, and what's your vision? What are you looking forward to as you help this 50-year-old nonprofit into the future?
I'm looking forward in my role as board chair of continuing to support Indiana Humanities. We've had some excellent growth over the last few years, both with our programming, our grant making, our staff, and I'm really excited that our board will continue to support our CEO, our staff, as they continue to implement the mission of Indiana Humanities across the state.
Yeah, it's really statewide, and you think about the team here within this historic home, statewide, all 92 counties. Who introduced you to the humanities? Like, how did you first get to know what Indiana Humanities does?
I was introduced to Indiana Humanities during my time at Indiana Landmarks.
Okay.
And
down the street?
Right down the street, yeah, here in the Old North Side. And we have a joint grant program with Indiana Landmarks, our historic preservation education grants. And so in my role as director of the Northwest Field Office for Indiana Landmarks, I was working to promote organizations and projects to apply for that grant program. Really got exposed to the other resources of Indiana Humanities. And when I left Indiana Landmarks, I was invited to review those grants here with George, the director of our grants program. So really continue to be interested in Indiana Humanities and what it was doing. There was a former board member in Valparaiso who reached out to me about potentially being on the board of Indiana Humanities, and here we are.
I'm glad you said yes.
I am too.
You know, I think many watching might say, oh, I've attended an event as part of Indiana Humanities programming, and while that's a big part of it, I would encourage all to really understand the grant-making opportunities because they're life-changing. We've seen that. We see the thank you notes. We know that in all 92 counties, these grants make a difference and are helping us think, read, and talk. Yes. You know, I was reflecting back. My first entree into the humanities was Chew on This, which was an event held where a collection of individuals would gather over a meal to think, to read, to talk, to chew. And I met some friends that, for the first time there, that I still keep in contact with, that challenged me and have differing views. And you think about think, read, talk, and the importance of that now, coming out of a pandemic where we've been separated by screens, on the precipice of another election. Don't you think this is the time in which we really need the humanities?
We definitely need the humanities, and with that mission of Indiana Humanities to think, read, talk, we're encouraging people to do what they already are doing. Everyone is thinking, everyone has thoughts, but being a little curious and wanting to learn more. So going to read, and not just in a book, but being exposed, whether it's through an event or program in the local community across the state. And then hopefully finding someone, as you did, that you can have a conversation with about what you've thought about, what you've read about, and having a bigger understanding. And I think through those conversations, we're able to find our differences, our commonalities, have a greater understanding, and hopefully that leads to just a curiosity about the world, a curiosity about people, as well as an empathy toward people. And so I think the humanities has a great impact on how we are as a culture and how we operate in society.
Tiffany, you're going to do a great job as board chair. Thanks for meeting me here and talking a little bit about IH's impact.
Thank you, Chris. And I also want to thank you for your leadership. I've learned a lot from you as chair. I'm excited to step into your shoes, but also continue to look at you as a mentor, as someone who can advise and share their experience. So we know you won't be chair, but we know you're not going away. And I also want to just thank you for everything you do in the community here in Indianapolis and around the state and your leadership. So I cannot say enough thank you for your service, and we'll definitely be seeing you around. You won't get too far away from us.
Thank you. It means a lot. Let's keep talking.
Boom.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.